spoiler sitting on the car. We're check fitting, make sure it's in the right places. There's a little wind diverter underneath here. If you want to take a look under here, there's a slot for it. So you want to make sure you get that in there. So now that we've got it in the right thing, we're going to take the grease pencil and we're going to draw just a nice line all the way around. That's good. Here too, we're going to just draw a little center line hash mark so that we've got reference as we come around here and know exactly where we're at. The spoiler off, or the front spoiler, we're going to take a little acetone, put it on the rag, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go right where the grease pencil is. We're just going to only go one way because it's very strong. Go back and forth and you might melt the paint. So we're going to go around and just clean all the areas where the tape and glue go. So just kind of go all the way around. Now we're just taping back the little ends of the tape. So what happens if you don't do that before you put the glue on? When you go to stick the glue here and try to pull it back, the glue is so sticky, you're going to get something on your hand, then you're going to take it and transfer it to the car. So it's easier to tape it back first, and then we'll apply the glue. Okay, so now that he's got all the little tape edges taped back, he's going to apply 1/4 inch bead of glue, or the 540 3M glue. It's going to go all in the groove holes all the way around. You can see where it's the light color and there's no overspray. And then he'll just follow that all the way around, and once he gets all done, we'll get ready to install it on the car. This little tab right here, we're going to the hole, we're going to put it right for this tab. So this is a two-man job because it's got glue and the tape's kind of peeled off. So what we're going to do is stick it on here first, line it up to the grease pencil, and then Jose will work it around the other way. Make sure that the little hash marks line up. Okay, then we'll start over here. So what do you want to do? You want to go from, which way do you like to go? Let's start. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work from the middle out to the ends. So he'll pull that one, and then we can pull this. And sometimes if the tape gets a little hard to pull, you can pull this back or push inside here so you can pull out. Because you do not want to break the tape off inside. We're installing the cruise clip, and what he'll do is by screwing it in at an angle, as the screw goes in and the clip starts tightening, it'll put pressure, and it'll actually, this little thin wall right here, it actually pinches it. What happens when it wedges, it'll wedge this part right against the fender. I'm going to check fit the aluminum bracket before we put the 540 glue on it. So what we're going to do is you take this hole and we're going to line it up with this hole right here. And it's cut out perfectly. So what we're going to do is, are you lined up, Jose? Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do here is I'll just put like a little grease pencil around it, and then I'll just put a little hash mark against center line. There you go, Jose. You want that one? He'll do the same thing on that end.
Lined up on it?
Yeah. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get both of these little rectangles. There's a rectangle on the car, as you can see right there, and the holes exactly. So when you line it up there, it'll fit like a glove. On a rag, and we're going to wipe it right where the glue and the tape goes, just to clean any contaminations off the surface of the car. You want to pull the little ear off the tape before you glue it, because if you don't, as you try to pull it off here, you're going to get glue all over your hands. So now we're putting a 1/4 inch of glue onto the metal right next to the double stick tape. So this is going to go on the same way basically all the kits go. But this bracket is going to go on for the side skirts. The glue sets up in an hour, so what we recommend is doing the side skirts first, the brackets, and then go go around to the rest of the car, and about the time you get the front and the wing and the rear on, the side skirts, the glue is dried and the side skirts are ready to put on the metal bracket. Now we're going to install the metal bracket onto the metal part of the car. So we've got a little hash mark here, plus we're going to line this up with a little hole that's already in the factory car. So what you do is you line that up there first, and then I got my mark here. You kind of hold it in place, and then we're going to pull the tab. Pull the tab down. Well, you can see the glue's all over it, so be careful. And then after you get it back, now you come by and just put some pressure on this. Since it is pressure sensitive tape, the tape holds the metal bracket in place until the glue dries. Right, there we go. Done if we take the factory weather stripping off to the factory piece, and we're going to reuse it on the 3D carbon side skirt. This molding is a one-directional molding, so what you have to make sure is at the little bulb is at the top. So don't put it this way. If you put it down like this, when you shut the door, it's going to squeeze out. So what you want to do, just make sure the bulb is at the top, and what you're going to do, just put it back in here and clip them in. Before we put the glue or pull the liner off the tape, we're gonna check fit the side skirt first. First thing you want to do is make sure that the glue is dry. This thing has been sitting on here for at least an hour, so if I can touch the glue and it doesn't come off of my finger, that means it's dry enough to put this on top of the metal bracket. Here's this little insert is going to go inside the hole here. How are you fitting down there? Good. Everything line up? These line up in the front. We're going to hold this edge so the wheel wells line up, and then we're just going to take a hash mark, because when we go to glue this thing on and pull the tape, we can be off this way. When I look at that and I pull it, and I can hold my finger here, then I know he's lined up and I'm lined up on both sides. A little groove line to make sure that there's no contaminations in there. Plus, we're going to take the little ears and tape them back like we did on the front, so that's the liner's back, so when we put the glue in it, we won't get our fingers all in the glue. The moldings, the weather strip moldings are back on the car, and we push the little clips through. So just in case, we put a little bit of the black 540 on it, just extra insurance. Since we got it out, we're going to have to put some on the side skirt anyway, so we've got it in our hands, so we might as well put a little bit on there. 1/4-inch bead of the 540 glue onto the side skirt. As we get on, that the side skirt gets on top of the metal bracket. So okay, now I want to make sure my little line is right there, so I know we're matching up right here. So now we can do is push it in, and then we can pull it. Growing out? I can't see. I'm past the door. Can you see it? Good? Okay, now we're going to press in to make sure that everything down, so we're in there. Good. And it's really important here. You can see the line matches there, so that means that on the front it's good too. Earlier we had the insert that went into the little hole here. There's an access part right here. We're going to take a heat gun and we're going to heat it up. It only takes about 30-40 seconds, and once you get it hot, you can just take a little pry bar and pull it. Okay, now you're going to come back here and put a little nut in the washer, and then once we get that tightened, we're going to come back and we'll put some of the black 540 around here, and then we'll just stick this back in, and it'll just be like factory again. So now he's going to take the little washer and the nut, and he's going to go in the access hole and actually tighten the side skirt down. can pull back the inner fender, give access to the factory clips we got to put in there. Just like what he did on the rear through the front access hole. The little nut and bolt onto the factory clip now. Now he's putting back the factory clips back into the wheel well. So now we're going to reinstall the access door. We're just putting some of that 540 glue around it. And that'll give it enough glue on it so when he pushes in, it'll be watertight and water won't come in. Tappers back into the factory wheel well lining. So you don't need to go with too much pressure, it's just to hold it in place, lock it up. Okay, now we're going to raise the car and install the two brackets that come on the sides. He's going to make a little pinch on it so when he goes to put it on the pinch well, it'll keep pressure. And then that's good right there. Now we'll come back with some of the black 540 and put it around it. So okay, now it's just putting some of the 540 adhesive around the bracket on the pinch well. That'll keep it from sliding off as you drive the car. Okay, now we're going to measure off the muffler. We're going to make a little mark at 3.5 inches. So and now we're going to take a little pipe cutter and we're going to cut it off so we can put our 3D carbon piece on. So it'll fit with the new body kit. Cut off the factory exhaust so we can put a 3D carbon tip on that'll go with our factory body kit.
I've shown.
Okay, now we're gonna put 3D carbon tip onto the muffler. We're gonna line it up and he's gonna put the clamp over it, and then we're gonna kind of snug it down so it won't fall off, and then when we get the body kit on, we're going to adjust it and make the final adjustment. The body kit on, the bumper with our body kit on it, and then we'll do the final fitment where we can secure it down. We're going to leave it loosen up, it won't come off when you still turn it, and then we'll do the final adjustment when we get the bumper on. Okay. Now that we got the bumper back on, we're putting the factory lights back in with all the factory attachments. And then once we get the factory attachments back on and secure, we'll take the car up one more time and then we'll do the final adjustment on the exhaust pipe. Now that we've got the factory bumper back on with a 3D carbon kit, we're going to adjust the exhaust tip so it fits in the opening. So what you want to do is make sure you got like a finger all the way around. We're going to kind of pull it out. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, you want to tighten it now? So now we'll do the final adjustment and snug it down, and then the kit's good to go. Yeah. There you go. There, we're going to have to cut the pipe. We're going to mark it at 2.5 inches, and then after we cut it, we're going to put 3D carbon's pipe on that'll match up to our body kit. So we're going to have to, there's a couple different variances, so you're going to need to check your instructions to see what kind of, what size pipe you have. We're using a pipe cutter, so it's basically up to your choice of cutting tools, but we either use a pipe cutter or we use a sawzall to cut the pipes off, whatever tool you have in your shop. The pipe off, you can see this is a 3D carbon supplied exhaust right here. So depending on what model you have, one side's going to fit the 60 millimeter 1.6 EcoBoost, and the other's gonna side, the 55 mil is gonna fit the non-EcoBoost. So you're just gonna have to line it up, one clamp, should fit both of them in the supplied kit. We have the 3D carbon exhaust tip. We're gonna stick this side on the 60 millimeter 1.6 EcoBoost. Slide it all the way in until to the flared edge. Then we're gonna snug it up. And cut right there. The 60 millimeter 1.6 EcoBoost onto the muffler. We've got it tight, pretty secure, and now we're gonna put that onto the body kit and adjust it, and then we'll snug it down really tight so it doesn't move. Now that we've got the factory bumper back on with a 3D carbon kit, we're gonna adjust the exhaust tip so it fits in the opening. So what you want to do is make sure you got like a finger all the way around. We're gonna kind of pull it out. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, you want to tighten it now? So now we'll do the final adjustment and snug it down, and then the kit's good to go. We're gonna leave it loose enough it won't come off when you still turn it, and then we'll do the final adjustment when we get the bumper on. Okay. Now that we got the bumper back on, we're putting the factory lights back in with all the factory attachments. And then once we get it all, the factory attachments back on and secure, we'll take the car up one more time, and then we'll do the final adjustment on the exhaust pipe. Ready to go. Install the wing on this 013 Ford Fusion. So first thing we're going to do is line it up so the ends match both sides of the car. How are your sides good over there? Yeah. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure we just put all the pressure on it, and then we're going to draw a little grease pencil all around, and then we're going to do a couple little hash marks here to make sure that we know when we go to after glue and the tape's on it, it'll line up perfectly. And after we draw everything around, we're going to take it off. We're going to clean the car. Okay. Sim Solve, and we're going to spray this on here. We're going to spray a little bit and clean all around the car here. And then after we get done with that, we're going to take a little acetone. This stuff's very strong, so make sure you use a little bit of it. We'll put some on here, and then we're just going to take and go all the way around and not to erase the grease line. Make sure you get all around. Now I'm going to put masking tape as a reference line. As you can see, the line goes down here. Because when we go to put the spoiler on, this design of spoiler is going to want to slide down. So we have a tape line as a reference line. Plus, it'll keep any of the glue if it goes down too far getting on the paint. Okay. Now we're going to pull the tape back, and we're going to put a little masking tape to hold the edges onto the painted. That'll ensure when we go to flip this thing over, after we put the glue on it, it'll be easy to pull the tape out. Otherwise, the tape could fall back in, then you're going to have to stick your hand in there with all the glue, and it just makes a mess. Acetone, we're going to clean the little groove in there where the 540 3M glue goes, just to ensure that we've got a good bond. No overspray or any other contaminants are on the spoiler. 40 glue that we're using at caulking, you can see that we've got the tip cut off at a 45, and that'll ensure when he puts it in the little groove, he'll get a nice 1/4 inch bead in there. This glue is you just want to take your time and just get a nice bead around, because it is very sticky glue. Once you get it on yourself, you get it on everything else. Now we're going to install the wings. So what we want to do is we want to line them up to all our little hash marks and grease marks pencils we put on here now. So as you can see, so now you're going to take the little tape off, and then we're going to pull. So a little tape back like that. You might have to lift the back a little bit to come out. Now,
pull the front up a little bit, yeah.
Okay, now we're just going to pull it all the way.
Keep it up a little bit.
Take it, you got it? Okay, now we got to make sure we line everything up good. Now hold it down. Now we're going to, ready? Now we're going to go to the back.
Culvert, Caterpillar 9-1. Culvert 9-1.
Now we're gonna push it back the line to the tape. It's right there. Now we're gonna make sure that we have all the lines. Now we're just gonna work ourselves around and make sure it's, since this is pressure sensitive tape, it needs like 15 pounds to work it around. Hand me the tape over, Jose. Another secret, little trade secret here, we're gonna pop this. Hold that right there, Jose. And then we're gonna pull these down the tape. Hold these down like this. Because the glue sets up in 1 hour, so. This is, because of the design of the spoiler, it wants to spring up. This will hold it down once the glue touches or dries.
Down a little bit.
Knock it down. Just squeeze it. No. Squeeze the top. There we go. Okay.
What's this?